All right, y'all. It's the time of year again. A lot of people out there trying to get ready for this lawn for the season. Look, I know you might be tempted to go out there and buy a product like this weeding feed. This is where you go out and put the weed and the weed killer and the fertilizer down at the same damn time. Okay, you might hear a lot of people saying, "Hey, don't use this stuff," and they may be right, but I want to tell you exactly what's going on so you can make an informed decision on your own. Listen, the thing about it is weeding feed in this granular form, the problem is that you're putting out two types of products that require two different things that contradict themselves. Okay, let's start with the weed killer. Now, the weed killer, the way it works is the chemicals that you put on the weeds, it needs to sit on the blades of the grass of the weed. It needs to sit on the weed in order for it to be absorbed by the weed. This is what allows it to kill the weeds because it's getting into the system, and it gets through its system by sitting on the grass. It doesn't work on the ground. It has no ground activity. So if you put a weed killer in the soil, it's not going to do anything because it's not absorbed through the roots. It's absorbed through the leaves or the blades of the leaves of the weeds. I'm sorry. So that's one issue that you have in the bag. And then the next issue is that the fertilizer, the granular fertilizer that's in the bag, when you put it out, it needs to be absorbed by the roots. So it needs to be watered in order for it to work. So what's happening is if you were to put the weeding feed on the lawn and then water it in, you just washed off all the weed killer from the blades of the grass. You just washed it off and it becomes ineffective. So the deal is if you put the fertilizer on and don't water it in, well, the fertilizer, it can evaporate. It can evaporate up into the air without the grass getting any of it. And it also could burn the grass. So if you don't water it in and let the weed killer do its thing, you can lose a lot of the fertilizer through evaporation. You can lose it. So it's kind of tough. So they tell you what you should do is wet the grass, then put the weeding feed on, the granular weeding feed. This way, when you wet the grass, the weed killer portion is sticking to the blades of the grass. You don't water it in and you let it stay there for a couple hours or so. And then after you've had that couple of hours or more, you water it in so the fertilizer part can go in. And that's the problem. How you apply it is a problem. And it's a mess. If it's a windy day and it's dry, you put it out there, the wind blows the weed killer off the leaves. And if you water it, if it rains, the weed killer gets washed off the leaves. And then when you're walking on it after you spread it, you're kicking the weed killers off the weed. So it's best to use a liquid weeding feed over a granule weed and feed. That's the issue with the weed killer. And like I said, I like to go liquid. Liquid is your best bet. You can go out, put the liquid weed and feed on there, and some other things that I'll show you to even make it more effective. I can make your weed and feed that you buy from the store double or triple the effectiveness of it. So that's a whole other video. See you in the next video.